What is up, guys? How are we all doing today? So what we doing? We're doing a Q&A. If you remember, I put a post out on my YouTube community tab asking for some questions. You guys gave me some questions, so I'm going to be answering them. And if you do enjoy these kind of videos, let me know. We can do more, connect on a different level. Gay. Right. So shout out to everyone who actually sent in questions. Shout out, thumbs up. Don't know why I went over there. Fucking thumbs up, wall. Right, so yeah, I've got a few. I'll try to get through all of them. But yeah, starting off, Aaron Pizzana, if that's how, it's probably not how you pronounce it. And he asks, how often do you practice? Your down picking is flawless. Well, thank you very much, my friend. That's just many years of doing what I do. It's playing a lot of Metallica stuff and a lot of rhythm stuff. But as far as like how often I practice, eesh, that's what the fuck? Now that's a question that nobody ever answers, honestly. To be honest, I don't really practice as much as I should. I should probably practice more. I have done more so over the last few months, where I just sit for like an hour and just like riff out and just really just play. Whereas I was kind of only ever playing guitar whenever I filmed a video. So I've kind of got into the habit now of actually playing just for me, just on my own, which has really kind of improved my playing. But that's usually like a couple times a week. It should be more. But let me know down below, how often do you guys practice? What do you think is an adequate amount of practice? Because too much practice can be too much. You need some downtime. But let me know, what's your practice routine? How long not your practice routine. How long do you practice for? Be honest, because we know when you're lying. Moving on is a bomb doggy. Bomb doggy. And he asks, what is the best way to set a guitar up for different tunings, or should a guitar be set up for only one specific tuning? So, for different tunings, there's not really necessarily that much you need to do. It's more so when you change like the gauge of your strings. If you're going to a heavier gauge of strings, chances are if you're using like standards and then you go to like a beefy slinky, which is a 54 on the bottom, whereas on the regular slinkies it's 46, you may need to do some truss rod adjustment. So if you know what the truss rod is a huge like metal rod that goes under the fretboard along the neck, and you can adjust it at the top of the fretboard up here under the cover, or sometimes some guitars it's down here. But yeah, basically it's just a hex key that you can adjust to relieve tension or add tension. But it really depends on what gauge strings you're using. You will need to adjust the truss rod, and sometimes intonation as well. Where intonation, how do I explain this briefly? Intonation is like the tuning of it. So you've got the tuning from like here to here, then you've got like from here to the 12th fret. And best thing to do that for me is when you've put a heavier gauge of strings on and you want to check your intonation, just tune it openly. So your standard kind of that shit. Tune it up and then do the same process again, but fretting at the 12th fret. And that will then indicate that your guitar is in tune from nut to 12, 12 to saddle. And to do that, you've got these little saddles here, and there's little screws. So if it's sharp, you go one way. If it's flat, you go the other way. And that's just going to make sure you're in tune all across the fretboard, which I like to do whenever I put a substantially heavier gauge string on. But yeah, different tunings, you're okay if you're going like E flat, you know, E standard to E flat or to drop D. But when you put a heavier gauge string on, that's when you need to kind of think of like setup, because you will need to adjust the truss rod. If you put a heavier gauge string on, when you've used kind of a light gauge, you'll find that it will pull the neck up like this, and you'll have like a lot of bow and a large gap between the fretboard and the strings, so you will need to adjust it for comfortability. I hope that made sense. So yeah, Bomb Doggy. Such a sick name. Well, fucking Matt the Riffmaster, what a twat. Man, I'm missing out. Question is from either Sam Ed E2 or Same D2. This person. I have a 10-watt amp and a cheap ass Strat. So when I try to use distortion with pedal, you can guess what's happening after that. So switching to a card from amp and solve this. And can I literally, can I get literally any tones with it? I need a humbucker sound. I don't understand the question. If anyone else understood the question, respond below. 10 watt amp, cheap ass Strat. If you've got a 10 watt amp, depends what amp it is. If you've got a cheap guitar with distortion, typically it's not going to sound that good. Humbuckers are best for something like really chunky and chonky and an overdriven amp. But the question is difficult. I apologize. If you can word that a little bit differently, I will answer it again. Or if anyone did understand it, you can answer below. But shout out, my friend. Same D2 or Sam Ed E2. Yeah. Right, next up, Craig Adams. I'm struggling with warped backing tracks, especially Talica. I'm new to it and I used Ableton. How can I get Talica backing tracks which are not warped without paying for it, bro? Warped backing tracks. I'm not entirely sure what that means. But for me, when I do my covers, I just use the original track and paste my guitars over it, which usually works. Some backing tracks are okay. Some backing tracks are really shit. So you kind of got to be careful. But as far as warped, I'm not entirely sure what you mean. So maybe you can clarify below. But I just use the original track for my covers and it works. What I found as well is when I've loaded the track into the DAW, into GarageBand, it kind of lowers the quality of the track. So you kind of lose the clarity in the guitars. So then when I add my guitars, it just works. But the drums and the bass and the vocals pop. Yes, Logic. I'm doing it for over 5 years. Give it a go. Shout out Craig Adams. Thanks, dude. Sorry I didn't fully understand the warp thing. If you can clarify on the warp thing below, we can go more in depth. Next up is my dude. Love this guy, Jack Koff. What's the worst guitar you've ever played and why? Worst guitar I've ever played? That's tricky. What is the worst guitar I have ever played? Okay, I've got one, and you're going to be surprised about this. So, a long time ago, I was in the market for a Zakk Wylde Epiphone Bullseye, and someone local was selling one. His kid wanted tickets to Download Festival, so I bought it. 200 quid. Come on, 200 quid. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. I bought it, and I literally sold the thing within, like, 2 weeks. I love Zakk Wylde. I love the Zakk Wylde guitars. They're so cool. But this Bullseye, this Epiphone Bullseye was just playability. Like, for me, the neck on those guitars are so, it's like a baseball bat, like the thick end of a baseball bat. And for me, the kind of necks I like, the kind of C profile, you know, a lot slimmer necks, I just couldn't get on with it. And I felt when I was playing it, I was like, I cannot play this. Like, I love the guitars. They look awesome. But, like, at the time, I just couldn't play it. The neck was way too thick for me. And I just did not feel comfortable at all. I remember getting, like, panic sweats thinking, I just spent 200 quid for this. Oh, my God. And then I just fucking pawned it off to someone else because I could not deal with it. I would love to try, however. Well, I have tried one of the Wild Audio ones. They're a little bit better. But that Epiphone neck, I bet the Gibson version as well is a big old fucking chunk. Can't do it, man. I mean, I've got fairly big hands, but that hugeness for me, I can't do it. I mean, Zakk is a Viking. He's got fucking huge paws, but I'll probably say that just because of how it felt, how that neck felt. And the worst thing as well, all the binding had turned like ridiculously yellow because it was in like a room where everybody smoked and it smelled of balls. Nigel MT Productions. Is it true playing acoustic guitar can make you play better? Well, my friend, here is the thing. It can't make you play better, but it gives you more strength in your fretting hand. Because it's a completely different feel, you know, fretting an acoustic guitar to an electric. You know, the strings are a little bit tougher. There's a lot more to work for. It's acoustic, so there's not a lot to hide behind. So you really have to kind of be accurate with your fretting. I was going to say fingering, but, you know. But with your fretting, you've got to be really accurate. So it does, you will find if you play acoustic guitar, that it will really fucking shred your fingers up a little bit at first if you're new to it. But it will help you with accuracy and your fretting for when you're playing electric. And it will strengthen up your fretting hand and your fingers and your whole kind of chord shapes and everything. So highly recommend playing acoustic guitar alongside your electric. I do it a lot because I love it. And So yeah, there you go. It doesn't make you a better player. It just helps strengthen and, you know, all that cool stuff. Okay, this is the last one. It's from my dude. This guy's been around forever. I love this kid. Matt Haran. What's up, my friend? Shout out to you. Favorite Kansas song? Guys, thanks for watching. I don't have a favorite Kansas song. Let me think. Let me think. Oh wait, yeah, I do. Oh my god, I'm the worst piece of shit ever. I'm going to hell. Matt Haran, I apologize. I love you, bro. Favorite Kansas song is Carry On Wayward Son, because it's from the amazing TV series Supernatural, which I love. And that's set in Kansas, and it has that song playing. So, yeah, Matt, there you go. Carry On Wayward Son. That's my favorite Kansas song, and the only one I actually know. So, guys, there you go. That's all the questions. Shout out to everyone who did put a question. If you do want more of these, let me know. I'm happy to do more. Where we can kind of just hang out and get to know each other a little bit more, you know, instead of just like riffing all the time, playing, man. I just want to give a shout out to just to everyone. All of you guys are awesome. Thanks for sticking around. Any kind of other sort of videos you want to see, let me know. And if you've not seen the last video, go check it out. It'll be linked at the end of this video. Some serious riffage in that one. And guys, as always, rock out. Be awesome, my friends, and I will see you all in the next video. Okay, it's going to be a good one, I'm sure. It always is. Fuck. See ya!